Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful Japanese philosophy, one that might just help us answer one of the biggest questions we ever ask ourselves.
You know the one. What is my purpose? It's a question that gets thrown at us from a super young age, right? But the truth is, so many of us, whether we're kids or full-blown adults, just don't have a clue. And with a million different options out there, it can feel almost impossible to figure out what we really want to do with our lives.
For a lot of people, that uncertainty leads to a feeling we all know way too well. That pit in your stomach on a Sunday night. You know, the dread that creeps in when you realize another week of work you just don't care about is about to start. That feeling of having to drag yourself out of bed for a job you honestly hate. And when you get there, the whole cycle just keeps going. You find yourself watching the clock, just counting down the minutes to your next coffee break, to lunch, to that glorious moment you can finally pack up and go home. You're basically living your life in these little countdowns instead of actually living it. You know, living like this isn't just miserable for you, it's a disservice to everyone around you. It messes with your health, it causes stress, even depression, and it affects your coworkers too, especially if they can see how unhappy you are while they might actually enjoy what they're doing. We can all do so much better than just getting by. So, how in the world do we break out of this cycle? Well, there's a Japanese philosophy that gives us a pretty incredible framework for finding real purpose, and it's called Ikigai. Ikigai. It literally means your reason for being. It's that one thing that actually makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning. It's not just a job, it's not just a hobby, it's that core thing you can pour your absolute heart and soul into.
Finding your Ikigai is also about tapping into something psychologists call a state of flow. You know that feeling, right? It's that magical zone where you get so absorbed in what you're doing that time just flies by and the work itself feels totally effortless.
So how do we find this amazing state of flow? Well, the Ikigai framework is built on 4 pillars, 4 really essential questions we've got to answer for ourselves. So here they are. What are you good at? What do you love to do? What does the world actually need? And what can you get paid for? Each one is a crucial ingredient, so let's break them down.
Okay, first up, what are you good at? Every single one of us has this unique mix of talents we're born with and skills we've learned. So often, we get obsessed with fixing our weaknesses, but Ikigai says, do the opposite. Lean into what you're naturally good at and become a master. I mean, why spend all that energy being just mediocre at something when you've got the potential to be truly great?
Second, what do you love? Now, this one sounds easy, but it can be a little tricky. Let's be real, you might not love every single tiny task involved in something, but the mindset is what matters here. With the right attitude, you can find joy even in the chores you have to do. Ultimately, though, this is about listening to your gut. Let your intuition be your guide to what really, truly excites you. Third, what does the world need? This is so important. Your passions and skills aren't quite enough for Ikigai if they don't serve other people in some way. And the world needs all sorts of things. It's not just about, curing cancer. It's about fixing a leaky sink or picking up the trash. These are absolutely vital services that help society run. Your contribution, no matter how small it seems, really matters. And finally, what can you be paid for? This is the really practical part that makes the whole thing sustainable. I mean, without an income, what you're doing is just a hobby. And a hobby means you need another job to pay the bills, which just sucks up all your time and energy. The key here is to think of money not as the final goal, but as the fuel, the energy that lets you pursue your life's mission. So we have our 4 dimensions, but the real power, the magic of Ikigai, is how they all start to overlap and connect with each other. So check this out. When you combine what you love with what you're good at, you get your passion. Think of an amazing artist who just loves to paint. And when you mix what you love with what the world needs, you get your mission, like a dedicated volunteer at an animal shelter. These are both fantastic, but by themselves, they're not the whole picture. In the same way, when what the world needs lines up with what you can be paid for, that's a vocation. Maybe like a social worker who knows their job is important but isn't super passionate about it every day. And if you combine what you're good at with getting paid for it, well, that's a profession. But you might absolutely hate your profession, or maybe it's not something the world really needs. And here we are. This is it. That reason for being is found right in the middle of it all. True Ikigai is that rare, amazing sweet spot where all 4 of these things come together. Your passion, your mission, your vocation, and your profession. It's where everything just clicks into place. But here's the thing you have to remember. Finding this perfect alignment isn't like a one-time thing. It's not a finish line you cross and then you're done forever. Ikigai is an active, ongoing journey. The real secret is to constantly be aligning who you are, your own nature, with the world around you. When you get that harmony just right, you can slip into that state of flow we talked about, where everything you do feels almost effortless. And this is the key takeaway right here. The world is always changing. And guess what? So are you. Your passions, your skills, what the world needs from you, it's all going to evolve. So to stay in that state of flow, you have to constantly adapt and adjust. Ikigai is a living thing. So maybe the real question isn't just, what is my Ikigai? Maybe it's, what's one small step I can take today to get a little bit closer to it? Because the journey to finding your reason for being, well, it starts right now.